A deadly shooting at a Goldsboro Food Lion in the middle of the day. What we know about the victim and the search for the suspect.
Then police chases are happening more often and putting you at risk. WRAL Investigates is pressing state and county leaders on whether the pursuits are worth it.
This front headed our way could spell rain for the weekend. I'll walk you through what to expect and when, hour by hour.
With breaking news, an 18-year-old is dead after a shooting at a Food Lion in Goldsboro. The store is closed at this hour. And right now at 7, brand new reaction from the city's mayor. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Ashley Rowe.
And I'm Dan Haggerty. Police say it all happened after an argument between the victim and the gunman in this case, who we should mention officers are still searching for at this hour. WRAL's Carly Haynes is live in Goldsboro. And again, we know you talked to the mayor. What was said?
Well, the mayor is requesting support from the county, not just for this particular investigation, but also for what he says is the deeper issue of gun violence in this county. Now, this shooting happened at around 1:30 this afternoon, so middle of the day. Sun was out. Goldsboro police say the 18-year-old was shot and killed near the front entrance of the store. The victim identified as Javon Langston. An early investigation found that the victim and his suspect were arguing right before the shooting. And over the phone, the mayor told us he's looking into developing a task force to address gun violence in the area, as today's deadly shooting comes on the heels of another one that happened on Wednesday.
I cannot overemphasize the amount of sympathy and empathy that I have for the family and friends. But as a community leader, I've got to figure out what has to happen to move the needle. We can't keep doing this.
And as far as today goes, police said that the suspect drove off before police actually got there. No arrests have been made, but this is still under investigation. Back to you.
Carly, thank you. Now to just, another awful story. This one, terrible. A Moore County mother charged with first-degree murder now in connection with the death of her 18-month-old child. Investigators say 26-year-old Princess McAllister left her toddler unattended for several hours at a home in Robbins on May 30th. They later discovered that they believe that she intentionally caused the child's death. McAllister is being held without bond and is scheduled to appear in court next week.
We have seen a surge in police chases. This is video of 4 of them across our area in just the last week or so. Locally, the Highway Patrol initiates most of them, followed by the Wake County Sheriff's Office and Raleigh Police. WRAL's data journalist Ali Ingersoll has more details about the trend.
Since the beginning of the year, at least 20 people have been injured after police chases. We know this from data we've collected from our reporting, wanting to learn more about these pursuits.
We have a tough job to keep the community safe, and we're committed to it.
Wake County Sheriff Willie Rowe called these chases necessary.
Anybody we believe is dangerous, we want to stop them before they cause any more harm.
With speeds sometimes reaching well over 100 miles per hour during the chases, I asked, when is it too much?
Drivers are trained when they see that situation, if it feels like it's starting to put people in jeopardy, to back off.
Since Attorney General Josh Stein's office is tasked with investigating police-involved incidents, we brought questions to him too. He said he doesn't think there's too much aggression, but that good judgment should be used in these situations.
When they're going after someone, they need to make sure that we're minimizing the danger to the broader community and to themselves as officers.
Rowe says that it's up to the supervisor to make the call about when it's a risk to public safety. He says in the past they have called these off and then followed up a few days later to make an arrest. In Raleigh, Ali Ingersoll, WRAL News.
And we are continuing to get more and more data and details about police chases and policies. We will stay on this reporting and bring you any new information.
I'm Brett Neese here in the WRAL Live Center taking a look at traffic here this evening on a Friday evening. We got a mess out there on I-40 eastbound. You're seeing this is all lanes of traffic are really backed up due to an earlier crash right there at Aviation Parkway. Eastbound, though, this is headed towards Raleigh. We have the map here, and you can see all this red and yellow here on my sensors. After you get past Aviation Parkway, you can see this is when it starts to clear up a little bit, and you should be good to go. Going back to the map real quick, a look at the rest of the triangle, the Beltline looking good. A little bit of a slowdown on Capitol Boulevard in the downtown area. We're going to keep an eye on that here in the WRAL Live Center.
I'm Willie Danley in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. I'm standing here at Mission Valley Apartment Complex. This is on Centennial Boulevard. Take a look at this. Firefighters are currently investigating a gas leak that happened here. Look at this video that I captured here on the ground, and you can see several large fire trucks blocking off this parking lot. Many residents of this building were evacuated from their apartments out of an abundance of caution due to that gas leak. We do know that one person was checked out by the ambulance on scene. He was released without any injuries. It does appear that the firefighters are starting to wrap up here. We're going to get to the root of this gas leak and keep you updated with anything else that we find out. Back to you.
Very busy Friday night, I should say, as we take a live look at downtown Raleigh. It is going to be a gorgeous weekend, a busy Friday heading into what will be just an awesome but very warm, even hot weekend. Meteorologist Mike Mays in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a closer look at the forecast this weekend. Mike.
Yeah, Dan, that cold front that came through last night really changed our weather today. Gorgeous out there, plenty of sunshine. Yeah, still warm. It was 89 at RDU, 91 in Fayetteville, but the humidity dropped. Made for a nice afternoon if you're in the shade. Take a look at the numbers. 85 right now. That dew point down to 55 in Raleigh. Yesterday's dew points were in the 70s. That's why it felt so gross. Will not feel that way during the night tonight nor for the day tomorrow. 89 Fayetteville, 84 right now in South Hill. So let's check out your weekend. Tomorrow, similar to what we had today, upper 80s, but I think the humidity will actually be lower tomorrow than what we had today. And if you're in the shade, it'll feel pretty good. If you're in the sun, a little warm. Make sure you wear the sunscreen and have a hat handy. Sunday, partly cloudy skies, 92. It's a toasty day, 20% chance for a shower. I'm tracking a front that will bring those showers, Dan, coming up in less than 15 minutes.
All right, talk to you then. Thanks, Mike.
An email from NC State says significant changes may be coming for Poe Hall, the building at the center of an investigation after cancer-causing toxins were found inside. WRAL's Sean Gallagher tells us what this means for those who walk through those doors.
In an email from the College of Education, they suggest significant changes could be coming to Poe Hall here behind me. So despite the state's second highest court ruling outside investigators can now do their own testing here, the university is considering options to move forward with remediation of this building.
It felt surprisingly triggering to me.
For former grad student Christy Lewis, who was diagnosed with 2 types of cancer after spending time at Poe Hall, the news from the university rubbed her the wrong way. This email from the College of Education went out to faculty and staff to update about the latest with Poe Hall, including the update on the second phase of testing the university completed, which were reported earlier this week. Because there have been questions about that testing, faculty and staff were given an option to submit questions anonymously through an online form. It also provided 3 updates, acknowledging retrieving items inside Poe Hall will have to wait until litigation is completed, and a plan moving forward, including potential, quote, significant changes to the building are being considered, and that students and faculty need to be prepared to use different facilities through this time next year. To Lewis, it all feels disingenuous.
It just feels like, they said one of the quotes I wrote down was, we want all assurances that our community will be working in healthy environments. And I'm like, yeah, since when? It feels like it's coming months too late.
I reached out to a handful of the 200 plus people who spent time in Poe Hall and were later diagnosed with cancer. One woman telling me that this shows a glimmer of leadership from the university. At Poe Hall, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Our investigative team is also pushing for answers about why the company testing for PCBs only took 17 air sample tests when professionals have told WRAL it would require upwards of 1,000 to get the full grasp of the issue. They tell us the report speaks for itself.
A plan to help tackle a problem with algae growth at a North Carolina wildlife refuge is on hold. This algae growth can be deadly to animals, including dogs. A district judge has paused the test program over concerns about harm to the bird population. For years, toxic algae overgrowth has been an issue at Lake Mattamuskeet. UNC researchers and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service started a testing program using a product called Lake Guard Oxy, an algaecide that is labeled by the EPA as toxic to birds. Environmental lawyers want to stop this treatment. The manufacturer of the algaecide says that the product is only harmful to birds if land applied.
Sports bettors in North Carolina wagered more than $525 million in May. Sounds like a lot of money, right? But it's actually the lowest amount bet in the first 3 months of legalized mobile sports betting in the state. Operators collected $63 million in gross wagering revenue, according to the North Carolina State Lottery Commission. The state will receive more than $11 million in taxes. It is important to note that May's betting numbers are down. There's no coincidence. This is a slower time on the sporting calendar without the NFL, NCAA football, or college basketball. And the Hurricanes are out of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
A Sunday round turns into a medical emergency for a golfer in North Raleigh.
Everything is fine until it's not.
Yeah, the quick thinking from other golfers out there and the medical device a local cardiologist on scene says saved his life. Plus, where construction is underway on a new casino resort in our state, coming up.
It was a combination of right place, right time, and a stroke of luck that saved this 77-year-old golfer's life after he had a heart attack on a North Carolina course. Only on WRAL, health reporter Grace Haba takes us to where it all happened and shares the call for help that hit close to home for one local doctor.
It was just a quiet Sunday afternoon.
By all accounts, May 19th was shaping up to be a normal day.
I don't remember any huffing and puffing or anything like that.
For Tom Rouse,
I walk when I play.
Blue skies above Northridge Country Club meant one thing. But just moments after his group teed off on the 17th hole, things went dark.
They said there was no pulse and you were blue. You were gone.
The 77-year-old had a heart attack, suddenly collapsing on the fairway. In a stroke of fate,
I had my 5-year-old daughter with me.
Dr. Joe Baumgartner and his youngest had just pulled into the driveway of their home near the course when he heard his neighbor shouting for help.
I actually ran through this house.
The UNC Rex cardiologist racing over to help, taking over CPR.
He had died here in the middle of the fairway.
The group had already called 911, but Baumgartner explains it was a second call to the pro shop that made the difference.
They knew that there was an AED, and really, it was that decision that saved Tom's life.
That AED is one of 14 the club has across its property. The device buying Ralph's vital time while EMS took him to the hospital. Surgeons say he had a 99% blockage in his heart's largest artery.
You sometimes hear it called the Widowmaker. It's the kind of blockage that is fatal.
Overlooking the course for the first time since that day, Rouse says there aren't enough words to express his gratitude.
I've survived this, and I think there's a reason for it, and we'll find out what that is.
With his new wearable defibrillator, Rouse says he thinks he has a pretty good excuse for a mulligan and is looking forward to finishing his round soon. Grace Haba, WRAL News.
Wow, just amazing. So glad he's doing well. Tom and his wife have now signed up to take CPR and AED training themselves. Tom joked that he already knows what he'll be getting his family members for Christmas.
More than $14 million have already been paid now to people who got sick from the water on Camp Lejeune. The 2022 PAC Act passed by Congress allowed families exposed to toxic water on bases at Lejeune from the 1950s until the 1980s to sue the government. In a court filing made this week, federal attorneys say that there have been 58 accepted settlement offers and $14.4 million have been paid to those people. While that is progress, of course, it's been estimated there could be 1 million cases filed.
Today, White House officials made a stop in Raleigh. President Biden's senior advisor, Tom Perez, toured projects funded through the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA. He visited Healing Transitions after its renovations to classrooms. Leaders say the federal funds are helping the city launch more programs to help more people. Perez also made stops at the Wake Med Center for Community Health and studios at 2800, an affordable housing development.
A new casino and resort in North Carolina is one step closer to becoming reality. Today, the Catawba Nation broke ground on a brand new Two Kings Casino and Resort, a $700 million project in Kings Mountain, west of Charlotte. The ground level will include thousands of slots and electric table games and a restaurant with a sports book area. A lawsuit did delay the original groundbreaking, but a recent settlement paves the way for construction to begin.
This was a long time coming for the nation, and for them to be accepted in the community and come out this successful this fast, we're very happy we're able to expand this quickly so soon.
The first phase of construction is expected to be finished in early 2026. A bridge over Interstate 85 will be expanded to accommodate increased traffic once the casino is open. This project will create thousands of jobs.
A North Carolina lake is ranked among some of the most picturesque in all of North America. Isn't this beautiful? This is Lake Norman. It's in Iredell County, north of Charlotte, coming in 6th place. This is according to the vacation rental platform Lake.com, which analyzed Instagram hashtag data to compile the list. Lake Norman was tagged in nearly 680,000 posts. A lot of social media savvy people on Lake Norman. It's the largest man-made body of fresh water in North Carolina, and many celebrities have homes there. Lake Tahoe came in 1st place. And here's another one, Lake Gaston, just a beautiful place to be. Wouldn't you love to be out on the water on this Friday night? Meteorologist Mike Mays is tracking this beautiful weekend ahead for us.
I'd love to be sitting on the dock watching the sunset with the way the temperatures are and the humidity is. Dew points in the 50s. Now, last night at this time, we were looking at thunderstorms coming on by. Jackie Weisenberger got a nice shot of the rainbow after the storm passed here in Raleigh. Last night we saw thunderstorms, Wilson, Edgecombe County. You guys got some very beneficial rainfall. There is rain in our forecast this weekend, but it's not going to be a whole lot. Take a look at the WRAL Live Cam Network. Another look at Lake Gaston there, Durham. The Durham Bulls are playing the Gwinnett Stripers just right around the corner at the DBAP. Fayetteville looking pretty good, and downtown Apex probably hopping this evening. Good places to eat there. 81 at Roxborough right now, 85 at Southern Pines, but notice the dew points are lower than they were yesterday. That front that came on by dried out the air a bit. I think dew points will be lower tomorrow, probably hovering around 50 degrees. So in the shade tomorrow, despite being in the upper 80s to about 90, it should feel pretty good. If you're in the sun, maybe not feeling all that great. So here's how we cool tonight. By midnight, we're down to about 70. That's not all that cool. But by 6 a.m. here in the Triangle, we're 59. Some of the cooler rural areas could be in the lower to mid 50s. So it'll be a nice start to the day. So there is what we call our first front. Our second front is to the north and west, and there's some severe weather with that across the plains right now. There are a lot of severe thunderstorm watches, some severe thunderstorm warnings. That's not going to bring severe weather for us, but it will be moisture starved because on Sunday we'll have a west wind coming down the mountains, which will warm us up into the low, maybe mid 90s. But also with that front coming in, you can't rule out a shower or maybe a storm. Now, the first batch of dry air, dew points are in the 40s and 50s, and this will push in tomorrow. That second front brings another batch of dry air that will come in on Monday, so you'll notice a drop in humidity then. Drop in humidity tomorrow. Humidity going up on Sunday. The front passes, the humidity will drop, but with the front there could be a shower. Now during the day, partly to maybe mostly cloudy, a 20% chance for a shower. Futurecast really doesn't show a whole lot of rain, but it's in the evening. It could be about a 30 to 40% chance. By 5, 6, 7 o'clock, we see these showers moving on by. I have a brand new run of Futurecast tonight at 10 on Fox 50 and 11 on WRAL to see if this is consistent. And once the front moves through the area, drier air comes in on Monday, and then there's another disturbance Monday night and Tuesday that could bring a few more showers and storms. Our forecast tonight, it's a little cooler, ranging from 54 at Roxborough, 57 in Durham, 61 Goldsboro, 61 in Fayetteville. And then tomorrow, if you're in the shade, it'll feel really nice. Maybe just hang out on the hammock if you have one, and if you have the time to do it. I know a lot of folks have a lot of plans coming up this weekend. 85 at Roxborough, 89 Fayetteville, 89 right now in Goldsboro, tomorrow for Goldsboro. There is your 7-day forecast. The hot day is Sunday, 92. The front moves on by. It's a little cooler. It's a little less humid on Monday. Rain chance Monday night and Tuesday. It brings in another dry air mass for Wednesday, and then we start to heat back up Thursday and Friday of next week. Next week, we could be back in the low 90s.
Oh, it's going to be a toasty one for the Pinehurst U.S. Open.
Looks like it, yeah.
All right, Mike, thanks.
Lots of buzz around the Triangle this week in terms of sports. Over in Cary, the women's side is getting started in the soccer tournament. We're going to give you a look at the action next. This TST, the soccer tournament, it's really fun. It's a cool idea. It's a cool thing to come here. The men's side is moving to the elimination games, but the women's side is just getting started.
Yeah, this is the first time that there has been a chance for women to compete in the TST, so a women's tournament. There are plenty of names and teams you recognize, including the NC Courage and the U.S. women's national team. Joe Lohman says the U.S. women's national team group at TST is a highlight of the history of the squad.
It is a true roster of legends and icons throughout the history of the women's national team. And to be able to celebrate the team from its first iteration is so important for us. And then also to push for progress, because that has been the MO of the women's national team since its inception, is to consistently blaze trails.
Absolutely. The NC Courage won its first game while the U.S. women's national team lost to the Canadian counterpart.
And it's different for people who haven't seen it. It's different than traditional soccer. The field is smaller, the nets are smaller. It's kind of like a mix of arena soccer, like indoor, compared with like outdoor. It's a fun game to watch.
Yeah, really neat. Hey, this is a really fun month. June is Pride Month. Local communities are celebrating.
So Apex is going to hold its annual Pride Festival tomorrow from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. It's at the Town Hall campus on Hunter Street. The event includes music and food, games, and vendors. There will also be a special kids zone with inflatables, and admission is free. The town of Mooresville is celebrating Juneteenth tomorrow at Shiloh Park. That's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be music, historical presentations, food trucks, and games.
There will also be some unveiling of a new mural there. Admission is free. To get more information about these events and other events going on this weekend, just go to WRAL.com and search the keyword Out and About. High school seniors typically follow the traditions of a huge graduation ceremony at multiple school events.
This class of graduating seniors here wanted to go back to their roots at Highcroft Drive Elementary.
I love this.
That is what they did. The elementary school students lined the hallways with posters and streamers. The principal says the grads were one of the first graduating classes at Highcroft, and they might make this a tradition. That is a really fun idea.
No other graduates got a hype squad quite like that.
No, really fun. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Have a great weekend.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.